Hello everyone. Welcome to the third episode of the mock interview series. Today's interview is brought to you by the Technical Council. This is an initiative where we try to give you insights into what is expected from a potential candidate during interviews across domains like software, HR, analytics, management, etc. Today, as the guest interviewer, we have with us Mr. Akshay Vidwans. Mr. Akshay is currently a product marketing manager at Schneider Electric. He's a proud alumnus of NIT-T batch of 2009 from mechanical department. He also did his MBA from the prestigious MIT-Sloan of Management in 2014. Throughout his career, he has worked in reputed companies like Schlumberger Business Consulting, Ecolab, and Bajaj Auto Limited. He has immense understanding and experience of the management industry and would be giving valuable inputs regarding how to tackle management interviews. Let's welcome Mr. Akshay.
Hi everyone, how's it going?
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for the introduction, and I'm looking forward to the session today.
Yeah. So let's move on to the main part of our session, that is the interview. The candidate we have today is Anirudh Sriram. Anirudh is a second year student of the mechanical department from NIT Trichy. So let's welcome Anirudh.
Hello, sir.
Hi Anirudh, how's it going?
Yes, sir. Fine.
So
Hello.
we'll be commencing the interview. Thank you.
All right, Anirudh, how are you today?
Fine, sir.
Yeah. Why don't you start by telling me something about yourself?
Sure, sir. So I am Anirudh S, second year mechanical engineering student at NIT Tiruchirappalli. I am from Chennai. My native is Madurai. I was brought up at Chennai. I completed my schooling at the Hindu Colony Chellamal Vidyalaya Senior Secondary School, Nanganallur. From school, I am a student who is more inclined towards academics, sir. And pretty much I've been able to maintain it consistently from my school till my college first year. And however, in my school, I wasn't very open to exposure or a very open kid who would try various chances or all the opportunities that comes through his way. However, when in college, like when I entered NIT Trichy, it was an exposure boom for me. Like literally, I got an array of opportunities to try to, and various friends from different backgrounds, and literally, like I was perplexed in the first moment. So what I did was like I decided with myself that okay, academics alone isn't enough for now, and I need to set a long-term goal. So I started trying out various fields, and that's how I came across management. Like in my school days, I didn't even know a field called management existed. So like I was literally like that level. So from there, I developed on. I honed up my management skills, got into a few clubs, and I also got to know that event management is one of my strengths. So also like I got into management consulting club of NIT Tiruchirappalli, and I'm looking forward to develop more, sir.
Okay, great. So good answer. Thanks for that. So the format we'll be following today is I'll ask you a question, I'll listen to your answer, and I'll give you feedback straight away. So yeah, you did a good job with highlighting your accomplishments and also relating your interest in management. So that was pretty good. What you could improve is like first thing I want to know who you are, right? So I don't directly want to get into your professional situation. So try when I asked you how are you doing today, try to relate to me, tell me what's going on in your life, etc.
Yes, sir.
And then when I asked you tell me about yourself, also just try to relate it to the job opportunity, like and not just from your context but from my context. So I'm trying to see why I should hire you. So while you might be interested in management and you had this journey, what brought you here today to apply it for a role in my company, right?
Yes,
so let's assume this is a marketing interview for Apple or something like that. Take a minute to think about how you would answer this question, right? And let's go again. And on the delivery part, I would say slow down. Okay, just slow down to half speed. It will sound extremely bad to yourself, but it's much easier to follow.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So take a minute, think about how you will answer this question. Tell me something about yourself to position yourself for this job.
And it's just a confirmation question, sir. It's a marketing role at Apple, right?
Yeah, let's assume that.
Not any specific products or like general marketing role.
Yeah,
Or is it like
yeah, you can be the marketing manager for iPhones. Let's keep it simple and universal. Okay.
yes, sir. And it's in India, like
Yeah. Don't complicate things. Just stay with it. Think of the purpose. Think about how you'll position yourself.
sure. Um, yes, sir. So, hello, sir. So, like, shall I start from the beginning or like
Yeah, tell me
just the
something
mark?
about yourself, Anirudh.
Sure, sir. So, hello, sir. Good evening. I'm Anirudh from National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, second year mechanical engineering. I'm a native of Madurai, and I was brought up in Chennai. And again, I completed my school in Hindu Colony Chalma Vidyalaya Senior Secondary School, Nanganallur, Chennai. Uh, I am a student who is keen towards academics. I was only keen towards academics during my school days, and it was only in NIT Tiruchi I was exposed to a varied backgrounds and different opportunities which I could pursue in my future, and that's why I came across management. Regarding marketing, sir. So when I came across many different opportunities in college, I was actually particularly interested towards one thing called guesstimates. Like that was how I was introduced towards management. So there was a guesstimate competition in my college, and like I didn't even know it was a guesstimate competition because I just saw it's a problem solving competition and I went for it. But I learned a lot during the learning session. Like they conducted a learning session of 1.5 hours, and I learned a lot in that 1.5 hours session, and I won the competition. Like I took the first place with a cash award of 1,250 if I remember properly, and it was my first cash award in my entire life. Like so, it was a defining moment for me. So I believe that I'm a quick learner and a skilled skilled estimating maker. Like I can estimate properly. Like I can estimate properly whether a product is fine enough, and I'm a skilled decision maker in short. In short, I'm a skilled decision maker and a good organizer. Like we also had to make a ppt in half an hour explaining the given problem statement with the solution. So I was able to do that, and like basically I don't restrict my skills to those 1.5 hours, but I just want you to know that how much I could learn in that 1.5 hours. So
Okay,
I put
okay, let me pause you there. Okay, so let me give you the answer. So you can again, the whole idea as you would, as we go through this 1 hour, is that as you answer, you will understand, where the structure is not okay or where your homework is not okay or,
yeah.
where you need to think some more about the answer. So definitely introspecting before the interview, understanding how you are relevant for the job is very important. And then being very on point in your answer. So let me try to answer your question, right? So my name
Sure.
is Anirudh, right? And I'm a native from Madurai. I've done some of my schooling in Chennai, and currently I'm doing mechanical engineering in NIT-T. While I've always been academic, because of the various activities we have at NIT, I've been exposed to many other managerial roles. For example, I've joined the consulting group at NIT Trichy, and I've also taken part of several competitions where some of my marketing prowess was examined. I've realized that some of my strengths are, estimating markets, My organization skills and also some of my communication skills have been honed through these channels. And as a result, I want to, I'm strongly considering a career in management, and I'm super happy to be here to apply to this role for marketing in Apple. Right.
Yeah.
So it gives
Yes.
me a context of why you are sitting in front of me and who you are. Right. So it's very
Yeah.
important that right off the mark, you make that very clear. Okay.
Sure.
So 10 minutes for the first question. Let's do another question on the introduction. Tell me about your strengths and weaknesses.
Sure, sir. My strengths include organizing stuff. Like I'm a really good organizer and decision maker. Like also like I don't make decisions in a haste, but at the same time I don't take too much time. I know how to weigh the pros and cons properly and make a decision which is most profitable to me or my associates or the company, which here is the company. So this is one of my strengths, which I'm building a lot. And some other strengths of mine also include I'm a quick learner, and I love learning new things. Like I just don't want to be like redundant with my skills, and I want to really add a set of array of skills to my existing skill set. So that is one another strength of mine. And some of my weakness, like I don't really see well, in cases of weakness I talk a lot, like sometimes in some cases like I tend to overcomplicate things and overthink stuff in the name of organizing stuff. So it's a very thin limit, organizing stuff and overcomplicating things. I tend to cross the limit sometimes. So that is one of my weaknesses, and I'm improving on it. Like I mean, I'm trying to. I'm organizing various stuff, and I'm trying to get the exact point where like perfect organization is complete, and beyond that, work is actually unnecessary.
Okay.
That is one of.
Okay. So again, good answer. I thought you tried to be structured. So you tried to mention 3 strengths and 1 weakness. So that's good. Format will go over, but the weakness contradicted the strength. You want to avoid that. And also the weakness, you can be, I appreciate that you were honest about it and vulnerable about it, but you also don't want to shoot yourself in the foot in the process. So it's a fine balance, but definitely do not try to be like, oh, I'm too hardworking or something like that. You want to be authentic and self-aware, but at the same time, don't spoil your chances for the job itself.
Yeah.
Again, for the strengths, I would say, as soon as you say a strength, relate it to an example, so that becomes real for me, and then relate it to the job to say, okay, well, using this strength, I'm going to be able to do this. So, for example, when you started out, okay, one of my key strengths is organization. I have organized A, B, C things at Trichy, which were like big events, and I played this sort of a role. I believe this strength would be very helpful for me at this job, where while dealing with on large projects with large teams. Then second point, okay, this is a strength. This is an example of that strength. This is how it's going to be useful for the job. And the third strength, if you want to go into that, or go into a weakness, which is honest, vulnerable, but not harming your prospects.
Affecting.
So think about the answer again for a minute.
Yes, I would like to begin.
All right. So, Anirudh, tell me about a few of your strengths and weaknesses.
Sure, sir. Some of my strengths include my decision making skills. I am a pretty good decision maker who weighs the pros and cons properly in a given short amount of time or a proper amount of in a sorry, sir, in a proper amount of time, and makes effective decision. Like this skill of mine is actually being reflected in my academics achievements, I believe, because I was able to balance my academic achievements and my PORs at the same time. Like I'm a part of 6 clubs right now, and I was able to maintain a decent GPA of 9.5 plus in my first year, and so this actually goes entirely to my decision making skills. I knew when to devote my time for my clubs and when to devote my time for academics. So basically, I was able to balance both to a correct point of time that I was able to achieve uh, achieve in both streams to a good extent. So I believe that that acts as a proof or a backup to what I said. So another of my strength includes my
Hang
organization.
on. So again, explain how this will help the job before you move to the next
Yes,
part.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I believe that in marketing, decision making play a not even in marketing, decision making play a major role in every aspect of it. Marketing, a bad decision can lead to a collapse of an entire company, like such as rebranding initiatives or a new market entry. Everything needs to be thought, and a new marketing strategy. Marketing strategies are to be made like okay. Yes, sir. So are you able to hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, no, it showed a loading scene. That's yes. So yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So again, prepare, right? Preparation is your best friend. Be structured, be concise, right? My strength is X. This is an example. This is how it relates to the job, etc. So keep practicing. But another few minutes have passed, so let's move to a behavioral question.
Yes,
So yeah, broadly on the introduction and the strengths weaknesses piece, you definitely want to be open about who you are and your experiences, but validate everything with examples, because otherwise it's just words. I need a picture of how you actually accomplish this in your life, and also relate it back to the job. So you need to research the job, you need to understand what it takes, you need to understand yourself, to understand, like, okay, how can I present myself for this job, and then be have that prepared so that you're concise, to the point, and super, put yourself in the best position for the job. Okay.
yes,
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a behavioral question now. So tell me about a time when you effectively developed a solution to a problem by combining different perspectives.
yes, sir. So uh, oh, sure, sir. So like I would like to begin, sir.
Sure.
So basically, there was this one problem for me in my second semester. Like basically, there was an exam on the next day, and I had a club work on the same day. Like there were 2 meetings, and the next day there was an exam. So basically, I had to choose between either the exam or the club works. Like that was the main problem. Like I had to decide between the club work or the exam. Like both cannot be done at the same time. Like I was prepared for the I used to be prepared for the exam. Like I knew the basic concepts, but basically like we need to sit and prepare for the exam, right? Like I hadn't done that, but there were club works which needed my attention at that time. So basically like my decision making skills helped me in order to taste during that time. Basically what I did was I spent my time for the club work, but I also like I thought from a different perspective, from my club leader's perspective.
Mhm.
Yes. Like I thought you were about to say something.
No, I'm just with you. Yeah, continue.
So I just thought from a club leader's perspective, was this job like a very important job, or was I replaceable in some other way, or were my friends like able to do this job at this point of time? And I was able to come up with a solution that yes, like this job is actually replaceable, and if I take up this problem to my club leader, he might actually like give me a proper solution. Then he would actually help me. Like basically, that was my thought. So basically, like instead of just sitting and mulling with my problem, I just went to him and said that I have an exam tomorrow. So what could be done? Basically, like I was able to make a quick decision that I let them know no sooner that I was preoccupied with some other work. I didn't just like wrap up my head with two works which if I had put in my effort into, both their qualities would be degraded. I just couldn't let that happen. Like so I informed my leader what could be done, and he gave me
Okay.
a solution. Yeah.
Okay, I think I understand your story.
Yeah. So that
So
was
I
a very
think
short story, and
no, it needs to be shorter, much crisper. So don't worry about the length.
getting
So yeah, on the good side, I think you selected a problem which, I mean, it involved other people. So that's good that you tried to solve the problem with other people. All your answers to behavioral questions for management interviews have to involve other people. On the flip side, the problem was yours. It was not some
I
team
yeah
problem or some
I was
other
thinking
problem,
of
right? Yeah. So in your experience, like try to uh, first of all be experienced in those ways so that you can cite those types of problems with other people and use different aspects. Um, That's one. And then on the other piece, on the format piece, you can use the star format if you're, if you know what that is. So star is situation, target, actions, and result. Okay, like this was the situation. This is what we were trying to do. This was the problem, and our objective was to be able to do this. So there was this gap, and to meet that gap, we did 1, 2, 3 things, and as a result, we could achieve this. So think again for a minute of a situation when where you solved someone else's problem by working with a number of people or a number of in a dynamic situation, um, and frame it in this format as you speak.
yes sir. Like I will use a different problem. That's
Sure.
better, I think. Yes, sir.
Mhm.
So starting with the situation is just a project which was assigned to us back a few weeks back. It was just a seminar, and there were 7 teams in the class total, and the first team did it, and the teacher wasn't okay with it. Like the professor wasn't okay with it. Like she actually didn't like the way they did it, and she wanted the other teams to do it properly. So basically, our turn was next. However, we were also preoccupied with another exam at the same time. We were a team of 10. So the problem was common to us. We had an exam and we had a seminar to prepare. So, like, what I did at the same time was like, I knew that it wouldn't be possible to prepare both for the exam and for the seminar at the same time. So I went to my teammates and asked them, and they were also of the same
Okay,
opinion.
so that's the situation. Yeah. Now
Yes,
move
so
into
this is
the
the
target, but we
target.
wanted to
Yeah.
do a good job, right? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we wanted to maintain the quality of the seminar and at the same time not let our grades stop because of the exam. So this was our target. So what we did was we had a meeting together. We decided like what are the action points in the seminar, like the major corrections which our professor noted for the first team. like we made analysis. Basically, we made analysis of the first seminar, and we thought like whether will it be possible to complete the exam and handle the seminar at the same time. So basically, the answer was no, and my idea was to basically reach out to the teacher and ask for a extension because we had to revamp our entire seminar. Like because the first group we didn't have had an idea that the seminar was to be conducted in such an elaborate way.
Don't go back to the
So,
problem. Stay with the solution.
yeah. Okay, fine. So basically, like I just thought from the teacher's perspective and said that she will accept for an extension if we ask properly. So basically, we thought of a message like message or like what? Yeah, it's a message conveyed by the CR to the prof, asking for an extension for the week, extension of a week. So and it worked out. So yeah, basically it worked out, and like because we said that we had a proper reason that we had to revamp the entire seminar. It was a group seminar, and so we had to like change out each and everyone's role. So the teacher understood, and she gave us an extension.
Okay.
So that is the action, and the result was like we were able to ace both the exam and the seminar.
All right.
So that was the result.
Okay. So no, that was a good way to deliver it. I couldn't follow the story clearly. Now there's 2 points to this. So one is behavioral questions are designed to understand the scale and scope of your experiences, right? So if you say, oh, there was a problem and I could solve it by extending a deadline, that's it's not as impactful as saying, oh, there was this problem, there was this deadline, two deadlines which were conflicting. My teammates were also busy, and we wanted to do this on time because there was a deadline. So that was my target. So the action I took was to understand our current scope of work, what the seminar scope of work would be, understanding when everyone's availability was, and then organizing a plan to meet that goal so that we could do both, right? So the stories you tell have to clearly highlight a conflict of the larger the scale, the better.
Getting it.
And then secondly, it should show that you could work with other people and you could actively influence the actions and the decisions so that you could solve the conflict and then show the result. Okay. So put yourself in more situations and these things will keep happening. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me about a time when you failed.
Well, it's a time which I like to remember. It was my NTSC. Like NTSC is a National Talent Search exam, which is conducted for class 10 students. And actually, like basically, the simple thing is the cutoff was 127, and my marks were 126. So I missed the cutoff by 1 mark, and that is my first failure.
Okay.
Failure
this is a behavioral question. So it's like you again want to go back to the basics. So think about a time, ideally, when you were working on something big with other people, when you failed. And then you want to stick to the star format or some other format, whichever you feel more comfortable with. And then explain to me both the failure and how you reacted to it. Because I didn't like, or what you did to improve on it, or how you handled it with yourself or with your collaborators. So think again.
Yes, sir. So we were a team of 5, and it was a college fest. Like it was bound to happen in March. However, due to COVID-19, the fest got cancelled. Like at that moment, the fest got cancelled. However, the works were like in the middle of the progress. Basically, the team had put efforts, and we brought in resources from Trichy for the fest. However, the fest got cancelled. So that was a team moment. Like it was a moment for us in which the whole team got actually like whole team faced a failure. Like over that. Okay, I don't think it qualifies as a moment where only I failed. Are you asking for such a moment?
Yeah, you failed or your team failed, but neither of you failed. If the event got cancelled, there was no failure. So, yeah.
Like basically, like in case of failures, Okay, I'm pretty weak in failures. That's the problem. So,
Right, right. So yeah. So I mean, yeah. Again, be introspect. Think in your life what you wanted and which you didn't get, or it could be a personal failure. Like you had a fitness goal this year, and you didn't go to the gym, you didn't do anything, and you failed, right? So not failure is primary, like it's very much part of success, like because things are not going your way all the time. Sometimes you fail because of your own reason or because of some external reasons, or or you tried your best but still you failed. So I think understanding this question is very important, so that
getting it. Yeah.
you need to introspect. Yeah, so on the behavioral side, the broad tips are, you need to have 6 to 10 prominent stories that you prepare from your life, which typically involve topics like leadership, teamwork, problem solving, managing ambiguity, persuasion, and conflict management. Okay, these are
Sure,
like
sir.
the 6 big buckets of problems that when you're working in management roles, this is what you keep coming across day in, day out. So you need to have stories that sort of address these topics. So have 6 to 10 stories that are prepared. Write them down in a star format. Practice them, and then you can frame that story to the question that is asked. So that's the way to prepare for behavioral questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll make sure of it. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let's get to the puzzle. So, are you aware of Uber?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know if how they're doing?
Recently, like, no, like,
No. Okay.
are you
Well,
asking any specific?
yeah. No, when I ask how they're doing, it means, are they profitable? Like, is there any crisis? Like, is there any competition? This is where your marketing and business and management knowledge should come across, right?
Okay, so like, I would like to know from you, sir.
Sorry.
No, sir. Like, I haven't like been tracking Uber. Like,
Okay. So, which company have you been tracking that
okay.
you understand what's going on with them?
Basically, like, right now I'm caught up in an project work of my club. So
Mhm.
it's a team internship. Like, it's a kind of an internship wherein we are designing training strategy. So like I'm devoting my time for it. So I haven't been
Okay.
following news for a long period of time.
All right. So if you want to apply for management and marketing roles, you have to be aware of what's going on in the business world. Get a subscription to the Economic Times. Read it
Yes, sir.
every day. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about NIT Trichy. Okay. So NIT Trichy, I don't know the latest scheme of IITs or NITs, like where we stand. I hope we are still in the top 10.
Yes,
But
sir.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
are,
So we are still in the top 10, right? So here's a question. What can NIT Trichy do to improve its college ranking?
yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. So basically, it depends on what framework of ranking we use. So it depends on if we are using NARF framework. NARF framework has different components. It has components such as tending towards research, the number of students to faculty ratio, and a lot of other parameters such as funding and word of mouth of the college, based on many such parameters. So basically, if we are selecting NARF framework, can I assume we are selecting NARF framework?
Yeah, sure.
NARF is the framework which is followed to rank colleges in India. So basically, with respect to NARF framework, what our institute needs to do, like what NIT-T needs to do in order to raise up in ranks, is basically improve the research culture in the college. Like that's the frame move which NIT-T must do in order to raise up the ranks. Because basically, if you see the top colleges in the ranks, basically they have a well-built research culture and an entrepreneurship culture in their college. However, NIT-T lacks in that. Most of the students at NIT either sit for placements or go for hires. we don't think about entrepreneurship or research. Like in case of hires, also the hires doesn't happen at NIT-T. Like basically, we need to make them stick or do research at NIT-T, and for that funds are required. I don't say that like lab facilities are not like good. However, the lab facilities are top class. However, we need like in when you check out the competition, we are at the 10th. However, we need to improve. So basically, for improving, we need to improve the lab facilities. Like that acts as a major boost in order to improve NIRF ranking. Like that is my first point. Some
Wait,
of my
hang on. That was your answer. Sorry, don't go into second point. Okay.
okay, like that's some thing which
Yeah,
I know
that's a
a
good
lot.
length of an
So,
answer. For 2 minutes, I can listen.
okay,
After 2 minutes, if I have a
getting it.
follow-up question, you can get into another 2 minutes. Okay. All right. So no, good answer. I thought you tried to structure it like to say, okay, there's a framework, there is this body, and then these are our weaknesses. This is what we could do. So that was good. I would say just uh, you want to be balanced on your answer. So when you're explaining the framework, or not balanced, rather objective. So if there is a framework and maybe 3 or 4 things that are on that framework, then you can say, well, this is good. We rank well here. I think we do reasonably well here. But the area of improvement could be this and this. And when I think about research and I try to think a little bit more about the problem we have, I don't think the labs and the facilities are a problem, but maybe the students could be encouraged more around research, or career prospects after research are not well understood, so students are not motivated, whereas it is still used in the ranking. So I mean, first of all, is research a relevant parameter in this ranking? And secondly, how can students be motivated to do more research, right? So you want to show your objective, balanced thinking when you're thinking about that problem, and not just focus on the problem. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So think about a company whose marketing you like. Can you tell me what you like about their marketing and what can they do to do it better?
So, let me choose. Okay, it's a tough choice. Okay, let me choose about. Say Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you like about their marketing?
Basically, like I haven't prepared much. I haven't looked regarding their marketing strategy. Netflix's marketing strategy basically revolves around like most of digital marketing. And when it comes to digital marketing, I believe that they have taken a like more basically any new series which you get, or like basically they are top notch quality. First, the quality of the product is very high, and basically so marketing is a bit easier for such products. So when it is seen with respect to marketing, I believe that Netflix does a good job by uh, like what to say Netflix.
Yeah, it's okay. So just as a
Well,
pointer, you should, if you're applying for a marketing role, just understand what marketing is. And once you do, you will see it everywhere around you. Whatever job you are going for, whether it's management or otherwise, you should have a genuine interest in the topic, which becomes your competitive advantage, right? So if you're genuinely interested in marketing, I can easily test it, right? So that's the moral of the story. And I want someone who's genuinely interested in the role, because they'll be spending 2-3 years doing that. So yeah, no, good job. I think Thanks for putting yourself out there, and thanks for
No,
being a very enthusiastic participant. Appreciate that. So yeah, that concludes the questions. So we have 15 minutes more. So there are some questions in the chat, and I prepared a few pointers as well. So I would like to share those if
sure.
that's okay. Yeah. What was your experience? Do you want to
Uh,
share how you felt or how you were thinking through the process in 2 minutes?
yes, sir, sure. Sir. Like whatever you pointed out, like those were literally like nice points which I would follow regularly from now on. Like
Hmm.
which I believe that it will help me. Like basically, like these were the points which I was yeah, like basically like I had some doubts. Like I will flop up somewhere, and basically I did. So I need to develop my general knowledge on marketing, and at the same time open my ears to economics time, as you said, like learn more about my surroundings, and I will be keen on that. And in my defense, I just thought it's a general management interview, so basically like puzzles and guesstimate kind of interview, and I didn't prepare specifically for it. Like in
Yeah,
my defense, like I don't
yeah,
want to say
that's
that
okay.
actually. Just in my defense, like just wanted you to know, that's it. So other than that, like I believe that the pointers were extremely important, and I will make sure that I will keep a tab on that, and I will make myself better.
All
Like
right,
because
good job.
that
Yeah,
is my strength. So
yeah. That's the greatest strength, right? To be able to learn. Okay, so let me go over a few points.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, Anirudh, for volunteering for this interview. I hope you had a good time.
yeah,
So,
thanks.
yeah, thank you, Anirudh. So, we'll be moving on to the Q&A section. So, we'll be taking questions from the comment section. So, the first question that we've gotten is
yeah.
from
Before we do,
Kishore.
can I just make a couple points for 5 minutes, and then the last
Yeah,
10 minutes we
definitely.
can make some questions. Okay,
Definitely.
thanks. All right. So one question I keep getting is what is my management and what is marketing and what's so different about them, right? So essentially, you have to keep in mind is that uh, any company has to develop a product, has to produce or manufacture it, and then has to sell it. So general management typically involves people who are managing people, those who are developing, producing, or selling. So basically leading an organization, the pyramid approach. And then there is business education, where you have many verticals like marketing, finance, operations, product management, which are not necessarily taught as a technical uh, scope, but more from business point of view. So business education will typically cover these types of topic, and just be mindful that you are becoming an engineer from one of the top schools in India. So there is no need that there are two types of jobs: there's generalization and there is specialization. And general management and MBAs would typically be the generalization category. Even if you generalize, at some point you have to specialize. So don't put the pot at the end of the rainbow and say, okay, once I become an engineer, then I have to do an MBA, then I have to do marketing, etc., etc. Like, you can specialize at any time. You can become a dancer, you can become a singer, you can become an engineer. So general management and MBA like provides you another avenue of um, specialization. But then have that strategy and have that interest to specialize in a topic which is general management in a way. A little complex, but just think about it when you have some time. Another problem is that people think that marketing is just the brand marketing that we see, or it's the ads on TV that we see. But what we need to be aware is marketing is the whole idea of what should I develop, how should I produce and distribute it, what's the best way to sell it. So a person who actually figures this equation out is typically working as a marketing strategy professional. Then you have product management. So once you've developed a product and you're managing it, you have to manage its innovation pipeline, its product life cycle, the revenue and margin portion of each product line. Then there's channel management, wherein you have different channels to sell your products. So you would have like retail, big box, direct sales, channel partnerships. So you typically have marketing managers managing these channels because they're so important for a company. And then there is the communication part, which is brand marketing and creating collateral and promoting and managing websites and so on. The digital marketing would also kind of sit inside that marketing communication channel. So just be mindful and understand the paradigm of management and marketing before you decide that that's what you want to do. And also, just understand that there's more and open yourself up to more. Key skills that people are looking for in interviews for management and marketing roles. So one is fundamental understanding of how business or marketing works. I think that's very important. This is not rocket science. It's all around you. So read, observe, talk to as many people as you can to understand all the things that are going on. Be aware. You need to have an aptitude in at least one of the following. That is, either you should be strategic, or you should be good at managing operations, or you should understand data fairly well, which is a new paradigm. So yeah, an aptitude in one of these is a must if you want to do management. And then communication is a big part of management. Like I'm literally on the phone 8 hours a day, every day, just talking to people. So the ability to listen, to communicate complex ideas in very simple, structured manner, ability to persuade and influence people, and then use of business language. These are all skills you need to have. So communication, I would say, is 50%. 25% is your business marketing knowledge, and then 25% is your own aptitude towards like a skill within that will get you over the line. These are three of my favorite books. If you're interested in management or marketing, especially marketing, I think these books are like my Bibles. So make sure you read them and practice what they're saying. And then I have put some interview tips over here, which is a summary of all the pointers I was giving Anirudh. So I'll keep it on the screen for a few seconds. You can read it at your leisure. But understand that management interviews are extremely irrational. I have been on both sides of the table dozens of times, and you just don't know how the process is going to work. It's very maddening. So don't take the failure personally, but it's your job to be prepared and give it your best shot. Okay. So take it from that mindset and make sure you are very structured, you practice, and you get feedback along the way so that you can be prepared for that interview when you get that opportunity. All right. So that was that. So let's think of your questions now.
Thank you, sir. That was some invaluable advice for all the management aspirants out there. So we'll be moving on to the questions, if you don't mind. So the first question that we have received is from Kishore B. What are the aspects we need to focus on during our preparation for case study related questions?
Sure. So for case studies, I would say the first aspect is your general knowledge around business and marketing. So there are a lot of online resources which help you understand these concepts. That's one, right? And then the second aspect is the format itself, which ideally you can talk to some seniors who appeared for the same companies in the past and ask them about the format for the case studies. At least the management consulting companies have very standard format they go over. So first they give you a problem statement, you think about it, you lay out a framework, Inside of that framework, you decide what are the key questions to ask uh, the interviewer, and they will help you answer your questions with what is known, what is not known. You have to make assumptions. Typically, there is some math problem inside of that case study which you have to get to understand. Okay, well, okay, so you want to launch product XY, Netflix in India, fine. So what should my pricing strategy be so for me to be profitable or something like that? So then you get into, well, these are my costs, this is the amount of market which is out there for a price point of 100 rupees. Maybe I can expect a million users in the first month, which means revenue equal to X. And then maybe that's not enough. So then within the first year I need to grow to 5 million subscribers. Maybe I should reduce my price by X and then become profitable. So have that mental math approach to solving that problem to get to an answer, right, which would typically be part of a case study, at least for management consulting companies, and then provide any next steps that you should take to solve the problem. So that's the format that is typical. There are many online resources, especially from business schools around the world. But you should also talk to your own seniors for getting pointers on specific companies you're applying for to understand what format they use. And then practice. Make sure you get at least 20, 30 case studies under your belt with seniors, with friends. Record yourself if you have to, but make sure you have a lot of practice.
Okay, so your key advice here is to practice a lot of case studies, and depending on the company that you're applying for, tune the preparation that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to understand the format. The format shouldn't be a surprise when you enter, unless it's a new format. But then you have to be quick on your feet. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll move on to the next question. It's from Shabri Nathan. If you're applying for consulting firms, which parts of our resume would we need to highlight since we don't have the management resume directly available?
Yeah, I would say think about it from a skills perspective. So consulting, and also from what consulting companies are looking for. So what consulting companies would typically look for is to put you in the best light. So you should be from a top university, which you are. You should be at the top of your class. So GPA would be important. But then they don't want just academicians or technical folks. So they would want people with the skills I just listed in management, right? So people who can communicate really well, people who are strategic in case of management consulting. So have some examples of strategic thinking which you used. And then finally, there is this whole you have this, you have to be interesting. So it's hard to put, but they have a layover test typically, which is like, if I'm stuck with this person for 6 hours at an airport, would I like spending time with them? So you have to be interesting, and yeah, so those would be like the key points which have to come across on your CV, and manufacture your CV as such.
So a bit of personality also matters, if I'm not wrong, when you're
Yeah,
applying for.
yeah,
So
for sure.
that is, maintaining a good CGPA and having strategic thinking, and also, having a holistic view of day-to-day issues. So these kind of tips can help a person to crack consulting interviews. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll move on to the next question. How important are extracurriculars when applying for a management-related role?
Yeah, I think they're super important, mainly because the skills that management roles require are not the engineering textbook skills that are taught to you. So basically, your skills are going to come from life experiences. And the bigger the scale and scope of the projects and initiatives you involve yourself in, the richer your experience. And that's really what will sift through the candidates as I'm talking to them. So yeah, you have to absolutely have stellar extracurriculars, I would say. And additionally, but don't just do it for the sake of it. Be genuinely interested in it. Be you know Make sure you want to make a change, or make sure you want to lead. Make sure you're interested in that initiative, so that nothing replaces genuine interest when it comes to enriching your experiences, so that then you can talk about them in interviews and so on. So don't go about it the other way around, where you want to build a CV because you want to do consulting, and then you do these 5 activities but do piecemeal job. Don't do it like that. Just have a genuine approach to growing yourself.
So even if like applying for 5 to 6 clubs, it doesn't actually matter that much. You need to be in clubs that you're really interested in, right? So I think it shows when you're giving interviews where your interest truly lies in. So yeah, thank you, sir. We'll move on to the next question. This is a interesting question. Is MBA necessary for a career in management? How does one without management background prepare for such a career?
Mm, well, I mean, MBA is definitely not necessary for a career in management, um, because like there are businessmen around the world who don't have an MBA and they are managing their business just fine. Uh, so that's definitely false. What was the second part of the question?
How does one without management background prepare for such a career?
Mm, I mean, that's a complex question. So, how does one prepare for such a career? I think I just explained, like, you need to have business knowledge, you need to be able to manage people and talk to them, and you need to have certain skills that help you be a part of a team and contribute. Those would be like the three baseline skills. Um, but apart from that, if you were thinking about how do I get an opportunity, etc., MBAs do help you in terms of giving you access to certain jobs, which because big companies with standard roles typically hire at typical schools to just like we have placement at Trichy, we would have placements at these companies. But at the same time, that's not the only way. I think you can network into a job. You can show your initiative. You can show your hustle. You can be involved in multiple activities to sort of open up your network to make things happen. So there's multiple ways that you can do it, but there's no one answer. I would say there's too many things going on. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next question. This is a question that I think a lot of people might have. So it's from Suraj Subramaniam. Um how important is knowing current affairs in a management interview?
I think it's very important because if you're not current, it's not current affairs. I would say at least um, have an interest in business and have an interest in management. Um, because I'm trying to gauge your interest. I'm not trying to see if you know the president of South Africa or something, but I do want to know if you're interested in business, like you're observing companies around, you're understanding what's happening in the market, you're seeing what customer trends are doing, you understand leadership, you put yourself in situations where you've solved problems with people. Those are the things that matter, uh, to be current, at least not current affairs, but to be current with your interest towards what your professional goals are.
Okay. As a follow-up question, Suraj has also asked, has the current pandemic changed what you would look for in an candidate?
Mm, it's a hard one. I mean, I think there's two things which have happened. One is that because of remote working, we rely more on um, a person's ability to work independently and taking initiative and deliver by themselves, so that there's no paradigm that, oh, you are in the office so you must be working, and okay, at least I see you working 8 to 5, so that's out of the window. So as a result, that is something you may want to have a story around, like how you can perform without supervision or something like that, with through your own initiative. Then the second thing I think is listening is much more important now. Like I was saying, like in the management role, you're talking to people all the time, and then if you're not face to face in a meeting and you're on call, uh, it becomes a much more intense listening exercise. Uh, so being able to objectively listen and contribute would be the second biggest skill, I think, which is taken more importance as a result of the pandemic.
Thank you so much, sir. We have reached the end of the session. I'm sure that our friends out there would have noted down the valuable tips that you shared, and I believe that they'll definitely help them ease their interviews. So it has been a great honor to have you among us today. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule. We hope that we can have you for more events in the future. Thanks a lot.
Sure. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Yeah, with that, we come to the end of the session. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you've gained a better idea on how to tackle a management interview. Your feedback is what drives us, so please feel free to give your feedback. We have attached the feedback link in the comment section. So, for the upcoming events, do follow our social media handles. We'll be back with interesting events soon. Stay tuned and stay safe. Thank you.